Hello, fellow Planeswalkers, and welcome to my top 10 cards of Modern Horizon 2. Now, the set actually looks like a really fun set to talk about, as well as to open in the future. However, due to some budget constraints due to the current price of the product, I had to make some adjustments to this upcoming video. I had to put in a few ads. I know, it's not fun with the YouTube with the ads, but it's not actually for YouTube ads when I'm doing this. These ads are actually brought to you by the Multiverse advertising service. Brought to you by our fellow goblin compatriots of the Ravnican Plain. Founded by Krinko himself, he essentially allows us to, as long as we can advertise a few products from the realms of the multiverse, we can make some quick cash to actually pay off some of the Modern Horizons 2 shenanigans that we will be opening today. And it's better to do that rather than go into debt with Orzhov, so yeah, I would rather not do that. So, nevertheless, let us get started by talking about the cards of Modern Horizons 2 that are my top 10 favorite. Now, before we get started with our shenanigans with the top 10 Modern Horizons 2 cards, I did want to provide some honorable mentions that I do actually adore from the set. First of all, one of the honorable mentions, all the reprints. Like, for the sake of this list, I really just wanted to talk about the new cards that are coming from the set, but I will admit, this set is providing a ton, and I mean a ton of valuable reprints. The fetch lands, Cabal coffers, even some stuff that's actually new to Modern just to do some weird shenanigans within the format. Like, if you see the whole list, it's actually quite amazing to see some of the new tools that Modern players actually have access to for the format for the first time, rather than in the internal legacy formats and such. Also, another honorable mention that I do like is, I do feel like I do have to mention some of the push cards that are really good in the set, though they didn't make the list because this is more my personal favorite. This is stuff like Urza's Saga, really good land card. There's also stuff like the Dragon Channeler, as well as Ragavan, which at this time is actually pretty decent price monkey at the moment, even though there was a time where it was like $100 and such. And other kind of like really, really good cards that are proving their salt within the format. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't also talk about my preview card, which was actually really fun to see this. This was actually a nice choice to be able to preview this card from Wizards, especially since I have a Reanimator, kind of like Awkward Knights Tribal EDH deck, so this was actually a really, really nice pick for this. So, those are all my honorable mentions, so let's actually get to the cards of the set. But first,
Number 10.
Number 10 on my top 10 cards of Modern Horizons 2 is brought to you by Krinko's $3 Trinkets. For when you need something to treasure, to eat, or to help you figure something out, come on down and pick it up for the low price of $3.50. As long as you don't ask where it comes from. You'll be in for a great deal. Come on down to the planet Ravnica for a good old deal. Warning, Krinko's $3 Trinkets is not responsible for any harm, or of death, or potential explosions that occur within the purchase of this inventory. With that, my number 10 card from Modern Horizons 2 is Academy Manufacturer. Personally, I just really love the design of this card, just being able to essentially help assist the token-based deck designs and such, both within the limited as well as currently in the modern format. It's just fun to see some of the silly shenanigans that people are actually coming up with by being able to make their usual one-token generator cards to make it into a triplicate token-based design. Like, there's some people that's been doing some silly Clock of Omen shenanigans, as well as some shenanigans with a card that we're going to be talking about later down the list. Nevertheless, it just is a really great card for both artifact-centric deck designs within EDH, but also can provide some fun shenanigans with Modern if you know how to brew it right. So, number 10 on my list, without a sweat, Academy Manufacturer, and I know that if I pull a foil, I'm probably automatically going to be giving it to Ravnican Artist because he wants the shiny. He wants the shiny card.
Number 9.
Number 9 is brought to you by Giants Fleet and Home Services. In the lovely realm of Kaldheim, you sometimes need to move your belongings to a new destination up on the world tree. Well, Giant's Fleeing Home can provide you the necessary services for a quick travel of your belongings to your new home. Using the special fire and ice magic along with the root stream, they can take any item ranging from a small pebble to a feasting hall and transport it even to the glory of Stoudeheim. If you're worthy enough, of course. So get ready and be fleeing to your new home. Warning, there's a potential of property damage along with injury when using the service. Also payment on the spot unless you want your belongings or yourself stomped. Number 9 on my list of top 10 cards is the Sword of Hearth and Home. Personally, I love this design of the sword. While it's probably not the most powerful sword of the whole sword cycle, it's still a very, very good sword. While I'm not sure about its modern implications, I will say that this is probably going to have a very, very high chance of being a next EDH staple. Just the ability that if you ever deal combat damage to your opponent, just being able to flicker one of your creatures and such, and then be able to get fish out of basic land from your deck, really great. Especially with how many powerful ETB creatures that we have in the format, such as like Avenger of Zendikar, any Fiend in Zoria's Flicker, or any like Fiend in Yarok-based ETB shenanigans. I feel like Sword of Hearth and Home, it's going to be pretty much I'm not sure if I would say auto-include in a lot of EDH decks, but it's definitely going to be a fun upgrade over the Sword of Animus shenanigans, or maybe even both, depending on your deck design. And that's why Hearth and Home is my number 9 on the list.
Number 8.
Number 8 is brought to you by, from the plane of, well, Earth, Affinitokens. Tired of using random knick and knacks when you forgot to bring tokens for your EDH token shenanigans? Well, Affinitokens gets the job done with special blank tokens with an erase board-like surface. You can use any marker and your artistry to make any token you desire. Need a goblin? Affinitokens. A beast? Affinitokens. Food and you don't have an Oko around? Affinitokens. Also, great to be able to update your current stream status if you're in the middle of a spell table EDH game, or just practice your own artistry skills, or even funny memes in the process. Affinitokens, give it a shot, you won't be sorry. As well as it would be very nifty with our number 8th card on the list, which is Garth One-Eyed, a very popular character in the history of Magic, now gets his own legendary card of the 5-color variety. Personally, I just love the design of this card, just being a very nostalgic callback to some very classic cards within the history of Magic, and giving people the opportunity to play with those cards, as well as those cards having a variety of versatile uses, including being able to flicker Garth to be able to replay those spells again. It is just awesome. Plus, it gives you finally access to actually try to play a Black Lotus in EDH, and who never wants to try to play a Black Lotus in EDH? Granted, the more busted features about Black Lotus is the ability to play it on turn 1, while technically with Garth you only are going to be playing it on turn 5 or earlier, depending on if you can ramp, but that's besides the point. Just love a nostalgic callback, plus also a card that essentially is Regrowth the Commander. As being a big fan of Regrowth-like spells, I do like what Garth's cooking there. So overall, number 8, Garth One-Eyed.
Number 7.
Number 7 is brought to you by So You Are a Bug with a Spark, a new soundtrack by the glorious chorus of the Gris Insect Hive Mind. Get ready for classic tunes such as The Song of Gris, A Spurky Blug Knows What to Do, Dinner Time, and one of our favorite tunes, A Few of My Favorite Meals. Come get this catchy soundtrack on a Planar convenience store near you. Number 7 on our list is, as you could probably guess, is Gris the Hunger Tide. Now, while there is a variety of really cool Planeswalker designs within the set, along with Dakon and Gaedrone, I feel like Gris actually takes the cake with the designs, Just the fact of the powerful ability of this being a cheap cost planeswalker, as well as the static effect of making it a creature anywhere other than the battlefield, allows you to do some really fun shenanigans with Creature Tutor, as well as specifically creature reanimated spells to allow you to get Gris on the battlefield a lot more consistent than you would originally. Plus, it has really good triggered activated abilities on it, just being able to essentially destroy a target creature or planeswalker, as well as just be able to make tokens to protect itself. Very good. I do feel like our Gris buddy is going to see some casual to even maybe competitive play within the modern format. And of course, this is going to be a great commander, since due to the fact that in the command zone it's a legendary creature, you can actually make Gris your planeswalker, and I already seen a variety of content creators, as well as Mana Curves, and a variety of other people, made their own take on the Gris commander deck archetype. So it's going to be very fun to see kind of like how these play out, and that's why Gris is number 7 on my list.
Number 6.
Number 6 is brought to you by... In the realms of the Shivan of Dominaria, meals cooked tend to have 1-2 extra of a crispy finish. If you want a good meal cooked without being burned, try out the Magma Cauldrons. Approved by 5 Shivan Dragons, the cauldron helps cook the hottest of meals without burning your meal. You're maybe going to burn yourself, but at least not the meal. Also good for smithing. Get your Magma Cauldrons today. And number 6 on my list is a personal pet favorite card of mine from the set, and that is the Blazing Rootwaller. This is a callback, of course, to the Basking Rootwaller in the past, and for those who don't know, I love Madness as a mechanic. It's kind of one of my pet favorite mechanics of all time. I just love the shenanigans of being able to cast free spells if you discard and such. And the fact that we got a callback within the proper kind of like Madness colors that allows you to do some really cool Madness deck designs. In other words, I'm just grateful that within my Andre Madness deck that I could actually have a Basking Rootwaller in there. That is really, really cool. And of course, it having fire breathing, it doesn't hurt too. So, Blazing Rootwaller, number 6 on my list. Without a sweat. Maybe a few burns, but not a sweat at the very least.
Number 5.
Number 5 is brought to you by the Dane Pest Service. On the realms of Strixhaven, unfortunately some Widowbloom students had made your accommodating home into a pest-ridden paradise. Well, use the Dane's Pest Service to allow get rid of some very problematic creatures within your home. Whether or not you need to target a specific pest, or just eliminate the whole pest species within your vicinity, the Dane Pest Service will allow your elimination needs. Upcoming soon, also to another plane near you. Number 5 on this list is, well, Damn. Damn is just kind of a really, really cool card within this set. It's kind of one of the more elegant design cards within the set. Just being able to, early game, use it as spot removal to get it in late game, be able to use it as a massive board wipe using the overload mechanic from the original Ravnica set. That is just perfect flavor, perfect design, very elegant. It's probably going to be seen a lot of play within Orzhov EDH decks, and I could even see some people giving it a shot within modern deck designs. To be honest, the best response I can get to this card, just by the elegance of its design and its versatility, is, well, damn.
Number 4.
Number 4 is brought to you by... One moment. Hey, this is Jordan calling. So far doing pretty good with the ads, but, do I really have to do this next one? It's kind of acorny and kind of weird. I mean, it's not bad, but, is there a way we can cut this ad from the video? It's kind of going on maybe a little too long. Yes, squirrels do live within the vicinity of my premises. No, I do not really want an army of them ravaging my home. Okay, fair enough. I guess we'll do the ad. With that being said, number 4 is brought to you by... Have your squirrely buddy went from a cuddly critter to a frozen beast of responsibility? Well, look no further than Laro's Squirrel's Pet Guide. With over a decade of experience nurturing a variety of squirrels, Laro, within this 10-chapter book, provides proper caring techniques for your little critter friends. Also provides instruction on how to let your group of acorn-loving friends
become an instrument of natural revenge against the demeaning realms of society structures that opposes the squirrel kind.
Wait, where was I going? Oh yeah, Laro's Pet Guide. Be within a bookstore near you. Number 4 on this list, I'm going to kind of cheat just a teeny little bit and actually just go with, well, all the squirrel cards. And I mean all the squirrel cards. Like, we thought we got spoiled with Toski with Kaldheim, but it just turns out we just had to wait for a few more sets and we got all the squirrel cards. New ways to generate squirrels, ways to buff our squirrels. It's just great to see. As well as probably the card that will be on the list, which is Chatterfane. A finally proper squirrel-based commander for our EDH shenanigans, even within the black border, to even if you want to be within approval of your play group, silver-bordered variety. Just great to see this card. I do think it's going to be a very popular EDH card, and potentially very powerful, because keep in mind, it's any token that allows you to generate squirrel tokens, so a lot of content creators had already pointed out the really silly shenanigans you could do with this card, as well as actually making an impact in Modern in some token-centric based deck designs, which is really cool to see. Nevertheless, number 4 on our list, all the squirrels, but if we had to choose one, it's gotta be Chatterfane, y'all. Let's be frank. Our squirrel commander has finally come to us.
Number 3.
Number 3 is brought to you by another mysterious book coming to a shelf near you, Lonus Monster Tracker Book. Dwell into the personal adventures and observations of Lonus, a cryptozoologist from Ravnica who believes in the craziest of creatures within its realms. If you fancy the field or want to figure where to begin, use this guide to lend a hand in your practice within cryptozoology shenanigans. Number 3 on my list is Lonus, the cryptozoologist. Personally, this is kind of one of my favorite commanders, along with Chatterfane that came from the set. Just being able to make essentially a clue travel EDH deck is just really, really cool. Really cool payoff, essentially, as well as we got a lot of cool new clue-based token generator cards within the set, as well in the past. If there's only one critique I would give to the card is I kinda really wish it was Bant Commander. But being a blue-green commander, perfectly fine. We have enough clue generators as it is within those color pies, as well as just some fun shenanigans if we put in the 99 within some token-based deck designs. Also, before I go on, I will say, one of the new alternate art things they've been doing for this Modern Horizons 2 is the sketch arts. And I'm just going to say it. With maybe Gris being the best, Lonus is a close second, because I'm going to let my editor do this, but look at the sketch art. The sketch art is really, really good for this card. Like, I presume it's going to be gorgeous in foil. So, number 3 on my list, Lonus the Cryptozoologist, just because we can do some fun clue-based shenanigans, and, of course, you can meme with it and just say, well, get a clue.
Number 2.
Number 2 is brought to you by the Carry-On Transport and Repair. Have a departed loved one that you wish that can accompany you on your travels, as well that can assist with those travels? Well, look no further than our Quarry Necro Mechanical Services. We can take a variety of dead creatures and turn them into your preferred method of transportation. Want a dino car? We got it. Your demon overload as a glider? We got it. A abomination of all kind that can literally drain the mana from your plane as a jet ski? We got 20. Come on down for a new take on experiencing the afterlife. Number 2 on my list is brought to you by one of the more unique vehicle-based designs that we have seen within the set. or even in the history of Magic in general, Dermatatsi. I love the morbid joke of this card. I do also love the clever design of this, just being able to use it to both hate out your opponent's graveyard or even just use it on your own creatures within your graveyard, and then just having the mental image of making them into a vehicle is absolutely hilarious. Like, a lot of people had already made memes, like pretty much squirrels riding Emrakul, there you go. Some clerics riding Gristlebrand, here you go. Just some classic elves riding a dino car. Like, so many jokes have been made about this card, but I do think this is going to be a fun card to at least play with in EDH, as well as potentially Commander, potentially. I'm really tempted to actually put this in my Oscar deck, because I do feel like there's just going to be some fun shenanigans of taking my opponent's, like, say, Atali out of the graveyard and just being able to make it into an Atali mobile, which is, oh, the mental image of that is absolutely hilarious. So, Dermotatsi, also, just a great play on words. Seriously, that is probably one of the most clever wordplay cards I have seen in a while. So, number 2 on my list, with a clever wording as well as some clever mechanics implemented onto a vehicle, Dermatatsi.
Number 1.
Number 1 is brought to you by Asmore's Underworld Microwave Meals. When you want the taste of underworld delight in such a short time, look no further than Asmore's Underworld Microwave Meals. All these delicate meals inspired by the writings of Asmore and her demon-approved underworld cookbook. Nuked by the nuclear fire and brisked in the finest manticore venom. Come see what the fuss is all about. Heck, one bite and you can firsthand experience Asmore's cooking. Come get yours today. Warning, may cause indigestion and possibly death. Our number 1 card from Modern Horizons 2 is Asmarana Mardica Dasna Koldikar, as well as her accompanying card, the Underworld Cookbook. Now, as stated before, I love madness as a mechanic, and this is a very close way to actually bringing a madness mechanic style card within the set that's not madness. Plus, the Underworld Cookbook is such a good madness enabler. Like, just a free discard outlet that generates food that allows you to essentially keep you alive, as well as with Asmore. I'm going to say Asmore for short, so I don't have a tongue twister here. Just essentially allows for Asmore to be able to use that food tokens to remove problematic creatures on the board. Very, very cool. A lot of people have already been doing some fun EDH brews with this, and it's even actually seen some competitive play in Modern within Vengevine style deck list that, even of all things, is making a cow with an Eldraine as well as Feasting Troll King see competitive Modern play. Let that sink in for a minute. So, I just love the design of this card. I love how they kind of was able to get away of saying the full name on the card by having the alternate casting cost. Love this card, and I will say it one more time. My favorite card from Modern Horizons 2, as well as the Underworld Cookbook, is Asmarana Mardica Dastina Koldikar. Just a really, really great card, and I just hope I pronounced that properly. And that is my top 10 cards of Modern Horizons 2. Now, if I'm being legit honest with y'all, this is probably one of my favorite sets that Magic the Gathering has released of all time. Like, it's definitely going to be in the top 10. I just love the design. I love the flavor. I love the clever wordplay. Like, so many puns in this set. It's my personal bread and butter, seeing all the wordplay here. I just love seeing all the design that this set has to offer. Also, as well as providing multiple formats, some really fun cards to toy with. I just love this set. This is just probably going to be one of my favorite sets of all time. So before we conclude, I do feel like I do want to say thanks to the people who are on the set design team for this, as well as for all the people who finished and made this set into a possibility. I want to thank Aaron Forsyth. I want to thank Corey Bowman. I want to thank Janine Parents. I want to thank Michael Majors. I want to thank Dan Musser. I want to thank Ken Nagel. I want to thank Ryan Pritz, Adam Prosak, Reggie Volk, as well as the professional players they brought in to help consult for this design of the set, and all the artists that contribute their beautiful artwork for the set.
I am very grateful, and the fact that this set is coming on my birthday is just so freaking awesome. So that is my top 10 cards of Modern Horizons 2. What were your personal favorites from the set? Mention it down in the comments down below, and I hope you all have a lovely day. As they say, hip hip hooray.
Oh boy, it's going to be a hard time pronouncing this, but let's give it a shot. Asmarana Mardik Castanodicar Asmarana Blidida. Okay, let's actually give this a shot. My number 1 card is Asmarana Mardika Dastino. Editor, please cut this out.